Haynes. Thanks for the opportunity to meet with you.
Nice to meet you, Rolla.
Would you like to see my resume?
Yes, please. Thank you. Tell me about yourself, Ryan.
Well, I'm currently attending St. Xavier University. Plan on graduating in May of 2013. Ever since I was little, I just always had an interest in computers. I was always the person in my family somebody would come to if they needed to troubleshoot, or maybe they needed to set up a network, set up a router. And since attending St. Xavier University, I have only increased those skills. We have our own computer lab. We're able to download software, work with different kinds of software, from Microsoft Office, like Word, PowerPoint, to database software like MySQL and Workbench. I'm focusing more on the database design more than the programming at this point. The professors, there's 5 of them in the computer studies and the computer science field who actually have PhDs. And since St. Xavier is a relatively small school, the class sizes range from about 8 students to the most, maybe 25. So because of that, I'm able to gain a lot of knowledge from the professors one-on-one. I'm very hardworking. I get along with everybody. I've never had a problem with classmates or coworkers.
Okay.
That's it.
What is your most major achievement?
My major achievement, it's going to be graduating college. I'm going to be the first in my immediate family. My brother is actually 3 years older, and I'm still going to be able to graduate before him. So in my family, that's kind of like a big thing. So because of that, I feel like that would be my biggest achievement so far.
What do you see as your biggest challenge ahead of you?
My biggest challenge is probably going to be just the software, how it's updating, the new technology. I'm going to have to stay updated with it, but I know that I'm going to be able to accomplish that just by doing research on different kinds of software, keeping myself updated.
Okay. What do you see as your major strength?
My major strength, I would have to say my ability to organize. I like to keep track of, I like to make a list of tasks that I want to do. So let's say I have my first task and I want to get that done by a certain deadline. And then I'll have another task that as soon as I finish that first one, I'll start on the second one. And by the end, I'll have my whole goal completed.
I noticed you have some, like a technology summary in your resume. Can you talk a little bit specifically about what technology moves you?
It's technology that moves me more would be probably the database technology.
Oh, you did mention that. Yeah. Okay. What aspects of the database?
Like creating the tables, designing the relationships, whether it's a strong entity, weak entities, if it's a strong relationship, primary keys, figuring all that out, how to basically make the database easy for the user.
How do you make it easy for the user?
I'm just creating primary keys to creating different tables, so it's not just one big table with redundant data. I try to reduce the amount of redundant data in each table by assigning primary keys, foreign keys, so each table relates.
Have you built a GUI to your databases at all?
We haven't done that yet. We're in the middle of a project right now. It's a mock real estate agency that we're working on. So my main focus would be creating the different tables, and then somebody else would be doing more of the programming aspect, since I'm not really focusing on the programming aspect in my career at the moment. So I would basically create all the different kinds of tables, make it in the fourth neural form, easy to access for the user.
Was there anything you disliked about school?
There wasn't that much. The only thing I could say would be the different times each semester. So one semester I would have a morning class at 8, but then the next semester I wouldn't have 1 to 12, and each day would be different. So it's kind of hard to keep track sometimes.
Okay. So how do you manage your day when things are that shifty?
I like to create some sort of schedule, either by writing it down in my head, and then, well, if I keep the schedule, it's going to keep me on track. And then as soon as I finish the first goal of the day that I want to do, then I'll go on to the next one and the next one until I finally finish all the goals that I have set for that particular day.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I would see myself working for a company that I could move up in by doing my work efficiently, pleasing my boss or supervisor, and hopefully getting promoted up from the company.
Can you talk a little bit about an important document that you're required to complete?
Could you please explain that?
Like a document. So if when you're building a database, you have to do documentation. Is there one particular document that that was the biggest thing that you've done in a long time?
Just the project I'm working on right now. We've done little homework assignments, cases, but this is the biggest project that we've started so far, and I haven't really completed it yet, but I plan on completing it by the end of this semester.
So are you guys documenting as you go, or?
Yeah, we're keeping track of every little, if we delete something, write it down. If we add something, we keep track of everything as we go on.
And how much face-to-face time do you have with the end user that you're building this project for?
There's not actually an end user. It's just a little like mock agency that the professor set up for us.
Okay, and so you have a project that says this is what you need to have?
Yes. Would you like to know about maybe the teamwork and what
Sure,
my
talk a
role
little
would
bit
be?
about teamwork.
All right. Well, since I'm more focused on the creation of the tables, I usually take leadership roles in the designing of the tables, while maybe my other partner would do more of the SQL script. I usually organize when we're going to meet. I try to take leadership roles if somebody has a problem if they don't understand what a certain thing in the database means. I would try to help them with that as much as I can.
Have you ever had to work with difficult people?
I have. There was one time when one of my partners wasn't able to make it in at the scheduled time we had set, because either he had class, all of us couldn't really meet up at the same time that we had planned due to class, and that was kind of one of the more failed phases that we had, but as it went on, we figured out a way to, maybe I would meet up with one person, and then the next day I would meet up with the next person to kind of combine the ideas that we had.
Well, what motivates you?
What motivates me would have to be pleasing, if I get hired, pleasing my supervisor, and eventually getting promoted up and from the company. That would be my main motivation.
So moving up the ladder is important for you?
It is.
Okay. Are you a team player, or do you prefer to work alone?
I prefer to actually work as a team. I feel that as you work more with others, you're able to bounce ideas off of each other, and you're able to get more accomplished, as to where maybe if I was working alone, I would come across a problem, and I would have to figure out a way to solve it on my own. But if I'm working with a team, I'm able to get ideas from everyone else to help me solve that problem.
So you mentioned something about solving problems. How do you go about solving problems, problem solving?
If I'm in a group, I get input from everybody to see what exactly the problem is, try to pinpoint, let's say it's in a database, try to pinpoint where the problem occurs and which table, and just deal with it from that point of view.
Did I ask you why we should pick you?
No, you haven't.
Why should we pick you?
I think you should pick me because I'm hardworking, I'm very motivated, and I know I'll get the job done. I feel that some people doubt themselves, and if you doubt yourself, you're really not going to get the end goal that you're looking for. And with me, I know that I'm going to get it done. I plan everything. So I think that's why I would be perfect for this job.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm just wondering if it would be more of a team environment, or would I be working alone?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Lots of we have depending on the project. There are some projects that are very autonomous. There are some projects that are very team oriented. The one thing we're trying new is working at home for some of our staff. So it's been a new thing that we're seeing if that'll work out, especially when it comes to just the database building, which you said you've had experience in. And we're new to it, so we're gonna see. We might try that for a little bit. We're getting big. We don't have enough space, so we're gonna see if we can get people to work from their own, places and pretty much work with us through the internet and remote desktop and things like that. Yeah, that's what we're looking to do. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And here's a business card.
Thank you.
All right. I think it's that 2 or 1. If I can just grab the one there. They charged me extra for the IR code in the back.
All right, everybody. How did you feel about Ryan's interview?